Hi, my name is Dr. Anli. Today I do presentation on apps and young user warnings and safeguard. Let's go next slide. In this introduction slide, I want to mention about as parents, we should always be responsible for our kids when they surf online. We have to ensure their safety. We have to monitor our children's activities. So kids nowadays face various challenges online that impact their well-being. So we will talk about tools and strategy to make informed decision and effective monitor to child digital presence in this presentation. Okay, for this slide, we should mention about possible dangers of social media apps targeted children. So we got online predators, we got cyberbullying, privacy concerns, addiction and screen time, inappropriate content, fake news and misinformation, lack of digital literacies. These are important things. We should discuss it in more detail later. For this slide, we discuss about like parental monitoring is very crucial in our children's safety. So we had to talk about setting age, appropriate restriction, privacy setting, regular communication, monitoring apps in education and guidance. We always have to communicate with our children, ensure that monitoring tools that we have, parents can help to reduce the risk associated with social media apps and protect our children from potential harm. All right, let's go next slide. For this slide, I want to introduce three recent apps: Yubo, Telenims, Amigo. These are new on the markets, so very important for parents to pay attention on. So Yubo is a social networking app that allows to create profiles and connect with nearby people. Focus on meeting new people and making friends. Or we concerns about privacy and inappropriate contents and cyberbullying. So children may exposed to potential risk of meeting a non-individual or exposed to inappropriate language or videos and images, or they being the subject to harassment, bullying, or negative interaction from other users. All right, let's go next slide. For this slide, we got two news on Yubo. According to Independent on January 2023, parents warn about Yubo after children as young as 11 exposed to explicit content. This warn parents about potential risk of using Yubo. Okay, the second one is according to NBC Bay Area on February 2023, Yubo app under fire for safety concerns amid growing popularity among teens. Great concerns about the risks associated with connecting with strangers in the area, a potential for inappropriate content sharing. All right, let's go to the next slide. In this slide, we talk about Telegram. The apps is allow anonymous messaging, let you send or receive message without revealing your identity. So we consider about cyberbullying, harassment, inappropriate contents, and mental health concerns. The student or children may be exposed to cyberbullying, harassment, spreading harmful messages. And because anonymous features it does have, student may be exposed to explicit language, cyber threats, offensive comments, and they maybe also receive harmful messages without knowing who the sender identity. All right, let's go next one. We got two news for this slide. According to NBC Chicago on December 2022, parents concerned about anonymous messaging apps after child received cyberbullying threat. This one is very important because it shows risk of anonymous messaging and how it can be used for cyberbullying, causing emotional stress and harm to children. The second news is on October 2022, based on BBC News. Anonymous messaging app telling them linked to bullying of children. This tells us about the anonymous features of this app can be misused for cyberbullying, leading to harmful impacts on children's mental health and well-being. Parents need to pay more attention to this one. Thank you. Let's go next slide. So this app, Amigo, is a video chat platform used sort of like Google Meeting. So this app used to connect with strangers randomly, anonymous conversations with them. The concern is the inappropriate content, the privacy concerns, exposure to inappropriate influences. The student may be the same other apps exposed to harmful language and behaviors, leading to negative impacts on their attitudes and values and behaviors. All right, let's go to the news. On this two news, we're gonna mention about based on ABC News on December 2022, parents concerns about the Omegle app after children exposed to inappropriate contents and predation and predators. Another chatting with strangers is very important parents to pay attention on. The second news talking about based on Forbes on January 2023, Omegle app put kids at risk of predators and explicit content, say expert. Now, this discusses Omegle anonymous nature make it difficult for parents and educators to monitor controlled interaction that children may have on the platform, posing risk to their safety and well-being. So this is what we need to think carefully. In this slide, we're talking about two cases found on the FBI website. So it's come from Northern District of West Virginia office describing the charges of the cyber stalking against a Maryland man in relation to his ex-girlfriend. And the second case is talking about District of Massachusetts office detailing the arrest of the Maryland man for extortion against victims he met online website in Massachusetts. The case provided in the website. On this slide, I will focus on the Attorney General in Georgia. And my Attorney General is Chris Carr. So he is American lawyer, politician. He also Republican, appointed by Nathan Dew, Governor Nathan Dew in 2016. In this slide, we had a website, we got the contact, we got the address. Parents, I recommend you any question, if you any concern or recommendation, you just send information here. My Attorney General had joined a coalition of 15 lawyers or Attorney Generals to encourage both Apple and Google to update their age rating or setting for TikTok app, which is currently only as young as 12 years old. So very important website, need to work through it. On this slide, I mentioned about age restriction. Many social media apps have age restriction for a reason. Parents should ensure that their children comply with age restriction. Many younger children try to lie to the apps and try to access to the apps, so they have no idea of the maturity or emotional resilience on the potential risks on the apps. Okay, so parents have to pay attention to this. Thank you. For this slide, I mentioned about privacy setting. Parents should teach their children about the importance of privacy setting on the apps. Help them to figure out setting to protect their personal information from being accessed by strangers. And it's important because I'll highlight the link provided below. It's helped the students so much. So just don't want to be bullied online. For this slide, I want to mention about professional literature articles for this. The first one is the parental mediations and adolescents internet use, the moderating role of parenting style. So this article is very important because highlight the importance of considering parenting style as a moderator in understanding the effects of parental mediations on adolescent internet use behavior. The second one is interactive effects of parental mediation strategies in preventing cyberbullying on social media. So this is so important too because it said the growing body of literature on cyberbullying prevention highlight the importance of parental involvement in mitigating cyberbullying among adolescents in digital age. These tools come from Liberty University libraries. So the link provided, go there and check. Go to the next slide. We call monitoring and communication is one of the effective tools parents can use. Should it stoplet communication, open communication channel with their children, regularly monitor their social media activities. They should also encourage their children to report any uncomfortable or suspicious encounters on social media apps. So working with them. In this slide, I want to introduce two apps that can help to monitor the children. The Bark and Net Nanny. Bark is one of the monitoring tools provide to screen out on the cyberbullying, online predators, and explicit contents and more. So Net Nanny is help to filter out the contents and time management. It's also report on children and online activities and allow parents to track their internet usage. All right, let's go next slide. This slide is conclusion about the two apps. These two apps, Bark and Net Nanny, are recommended because effective parental monitoring tools because they best fit their needs and preferences. So these two apps will help us to monitor all these student activities from potential risks and dangers. All right, on this slide, it's pretty much about photo credits. All the link getting photos and links are right here provided. On this slide, it's showing us all the sources where we get the information from and all formatted APA. All right, if you have any question, feel free to add. Thank you.